If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
Africa is not a country. It is not a big homogeneous market. It's thriving with some of the world's fastest growing economies. To find out more, log on africabusinessradio.com. Towards a profitable Africa.
They are 1.8 billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insights on African millennials on Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
S Cool on the beat.
I don't know if it's a good time to say Happy New Year because it's 3 days into the year already. So, well, it's the first edition of the African Millennial Radio Show on Africa Business Radio. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is the beginning of the year. I don't know what's been happening in your life or in your country where you are, but then this is the very, very first time you're going to be hearing my voice this year. So, Happy New Year, guys. How you doing? How was the Christmas break, or let's say the holidays, as some people would like to say it nowadays? Well, for me, I guess I rested a lot. I mean, Mickey, my engineer, how was it though?
I ate.
You ate?
I ate.
You just kept eating?
Yeah.
Wait, I can't see it. Really? Okay, no problem. All right, guys. So we have interesting lineup of professionals, of people, of personalities this year. I mean, I think it's really, really going to be a very, very interesting year on the African Millennial Radio Show. Right, and I am very, very happy to start this year with this very, very interesting lady who I think I met her for the first time about 12 or 13 years ago. I don't know how many years ago. It was 2008. That was 12 years ago, I think. Right, and yeah, it was just over there, and yeah, but then she's in the studio with me. I'm happy. All right, a little bit of a background on her. She's a strategic communications professional with 9 years hands-on experience in public relations and marketing, working with consumer brands, government institutions, and SMEs. She has a Bachelor of Science Degree in Demography and Statistics from, of course, the only university in Nigeria, Obafemi University. Yeah, Obafemi University. Yeah, Obafemi University. A certificate in market and research from Pan-African Atlantic University, Lagos, event marketing training from George Washington University, USA, and a member chartered of Marketing UK. I mean, I have this very, very... I have Temi Ibekwe in the studio. Hi, Temi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello, Tomi.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
I mean, thank you. You know, I think when I said the notice was short, I told you about it before, and then I just thought about it. You know what? Let me start this year's edition with Temi, and then here you are. Thank you very much.
You can be sure I'm super delighted and honored to be here. Your first guest for the year, right?
For the decade. For a decade.
That's huge.
Right. I mean, that's so huge. Okay, so different things are happening right now. Everybody's writing their New Year's resolution, right? Everybody's trying to be that good person, quote and unquote. I have this slated. I have this I'm going to do. Well, some other people are like, I'm just going to enjoy this year. Right, I think I'm on the later part. I'm just going to enjoy this year. I'm not going to rack my head around 10 things I should achieve. Right, I'm just going to. I think what I want to work on myself is I just want to be prepared for any opportunity that comes, right? Of course, part of the preparation is discernment, so I pray God helps me to know what to pick.
Being in the right state of mind. I think,
That thing.
Being ready.
I mean, in Africa, living in Lagos, right? That state of mind is a very, 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 very important thing. All right, let's talk about this decade, right? You're a PR professional. You've done a lot of things for a lot of brands, government. You've been in different countries studying on this. You've had case studies going on and on, right? So let me just throw some things back about maybe 15 years down the line, right? So I'll start from 2005, and then phones started coming in, but then we're all still sitting in front of our TVs, right? Jump to December last year. My parents are always on their phones watching YouTube videos and not watching TV. Okay, so let's go back to 15 years again, right? Things started happening with a bit of Facebook. You go to a cyber cafe to use Facebook, and then you try to interact, and then the world now started realizing that people were having more conversations online, right? And then things about studying the behavior of people online and how we can push our businesses and whatever we're trying to do to exploit that premise. Yeah, hopefully. Now digital marketing became the thing. So 2011 is here. Digital marketing professional, you're like the next thing from what the doctors used to look like in the 90s, right? Oh yeah, digital marketing professional, you're like the best guy in the room. And then fast forward 2015, are you even or 2016, are you really even that cool digital marketing professional right now? Right? Because everybody can do your job, right? And then 2016, boom, videos, influencers, as they say, and then just do a video, do skits and things like that. Sorry, let me chip this in before I'm just going to allow you to take on the show. Okay. Someone told me that Nollywood guys right now, you don't need to. The guy that goes to study how to read a script and act and everything, does everything on terror culture stage to get that first supporting role in a movie, right, has a lesser chance than the guy who just does skits on Instagram. Do you understand? Because Lasisi just gets a role and he's just doing videos in his car. Right, he's not going on stage on terror culture to cram lines and do more in me and everything like that. So times have changed, right? And then organizations just need to go fully into the conversations on the internet, right? Now there's a new demographic. Those guys are 22 downwards. They're going to be very old this decade. Temi, please take the floor, right? What should we not make the mistake of, right? What should we look at doing? Just teach us right now.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you actually mentioned the consumer behavior or the audience behavior changing, because essentially if you look at the past decade and where we're going into, you realize that towards the end of the last decade, it seemed like consumer behavior, was evolving so rapidly that it was almost impossible, or it became so difficult to predict it. In time past, we all knew as a principle that yes, consumer behavior or in human behavior will change. But the pace at which this evolved in towards the end of the last decade was very sporadic. One other thing that also influenced that was technology. Right. We're talking about something just before we walked into the studio where I was like, we started the decade with maybe my BlackBerry phone.
BlackBerry.
Or, my flip phone.
Can you remember your PIN?
Oh, come on. No,
right.
I can't.
Okay.
And then we moved on towards the middle of that decade where, we had businesses that come out of technology as a result of, improvement and innovation, from the Ubers to the food delivery businesses to the Amazons and all of that. You would know that between 2015 and 2015 and 2019, quite a number of small businesses actually sprung out of that. We have even the motorcycle businesses and all of that. All of this as a result of improved technology. But it was moving at a pace in which it almost looked like we couldn't go somewhere to just say, we could say for sure. We couldn't say for sure, this is how this person will react. From when people wanted lengthy news materials and all of that, to where they just wanted snippets on Twitter, just give it to me quick and then give me what concerns me. But I think that essentially one thing remains a fact, that consumer behavior will be changing. So what we need to do, like one of the things that we do in marketing, is to understand the various personas taking them from demographics, and then looking at the psychography. What is this person like? How do they want them? So for instance, in terms of communication, what are the platforms that they go to? It's not enough to just say, oh, I just want to put my news on the blogs. If you're consumer, because you have to take the other step to then try and understand who are the guys I'm trying to speak to, what age category are they in, what is their income like, and where do they want to be met. It's almost like we're going to have a conversation now. You can't come out there to just speak like a brand. You have to kind of personalize it and come across as an individual yourself. We've seen that come to play in various parts from, globally and even locally. So just to bring all of these thoughts, because it's a lot, to bring it all home and then just to categorize it, I'm just going to hang around 4 major points that I think towards the end of the year 2019, from research documents and all of that, seem to be that it's going to grow and have huge impact in the next decade. And one of those is artificial intelligence. We've seen the entrance of chatbots and all of that. I was doing a research and I saw on Oracle's, one of the research that Oracle did in 2019, that 80% of businesses actually want to invest in chatbots by 2020.
Okay, so can you tell me what chatbots are?
Okay, so chatbots is, so for example, you go on a site, whatever platform that you have as a business, so whether your website or your Facebook, or let me just narrow it down. You go on Facebook, for instance, and then you some people have this auto response on their pages. You type in, someone is actually probably at that point in time, no one is at the background, but you had already selected some set of questions that you predicted that, okay, once this person asks this, these are the sort of answers. Like that
nonsense that some banks do when you say something, just mention their handle, you just say nonsense. Those are not chatbots, those are funny things.
Those
I don't
are
like
funny
those
things.
But
we have a chatbot on our website actually, and what we did was, we named it. The chatbot's called the Strategist, and it just says hi there. If you hover around the website for about 5 minutes thereabout, then it knows that you're trying to make a decision, and then it pops up. We use Drift for that. And I know that one of the research documents I also found is, interestingly, 63% of the respondents said that they preferred to interact with the chatbot on the website. One of the reasons why is because, again, consumer behavior. Consumers want it now. They want their responses now. If I'm chatting with you at 11 p.m., right now I probably want a solution depending on what sort of question or what sort of need I have at that time. So chatbot gives you the advantage of you responding 24 hours and responding even when it is inhumanly possible to be physically present. And
so wait, sorry, this thing is going to take jobs from people.
Okay, so I agree, quite all right, and sadly it's the inevitable truth, and that's why whatever skill you have right now, whatever industry you're in right now, you probably need to continue to equip yourself, continue to update whatever skill that you have, but the way I see it for now is it runs as a support to whatever human resource that you have internally. We've seen this play as well in marketing, where I'm not sure if you saw, towards in August 2019, JP Morgan Chase Bank signed a retainership deal with a startup company that uses AI to write advert copies, because after several tests, it was realized that the artificial intelligence, the robot, wrote better copies than the human. So and then in August, they signed a 5-year deal.
I'm sorry, does that robot have a certification? I'm angry right now because
good question.
I'm studying and all these things. Then one AI just comes into the scene and just thinks that it's going to write a better copy.
However, what we would do is what we should look at is the fact that it can actually just assist for now. There are white papers, there are some other, more detailed marketing documents. It could also make you lazy. So what I'm thinking is that businesses, maybe agencies or organizations within that brand marketing sphere, can look at how they can inculcate AI to actually augment whatever it is that they're, to support whatever service that they provide. So for instance, an ad agency not looking to eliminate the bunch of copywriters that they have, but also just to inculcate it in the process so as to make it better. When you're cooking, sometimes you have to introduce some sort of ingredients and all of that to make the soup sweeter, so that we also don't have, because the same way you have writer's block, or in a phase where, you're probably not doing anything for a long time, and then you get on there and you're not able to do as much as you used to do before. So for what I see in the next decade, and that in Africa, we're still playing catch up on some of these things. But there are websites, there are applications and all of that can actually support you. IKEA also has an app, so bringing it home a bit. Some of us know the furniture giant, global furniture giant. So it has an app where you can take a picture of your empty room and then move things around, their furniture items, and then try and decide how it works for you.
There goes the job of the interior decorator.
Not exactly, because you still need the creativity.
Technology will improve.
You still need the creativity, but here's us talking about. So I was trying to shop. I think it was in December. I was trying to replace my iframes, and I got everything. I got about 3 of those online because I just the site had an opportunity for you to upload your photo and then just see how each of the frames fit you. Because one of the markets, the bunch of audience that are yet to catch on with the online shopping, one of their restrictions or reservation is the fact that they just want to see how it looks. They want to walk into the store and see how it will exactly fit. So imagine if an online e-commerce beauty shop, can inculcate that. So that one is actually called augmented reality. There is one as well, I think Wana Cakes, where you can, I'm not sure how far that has gone yet, but you can just put a camera over your feet and then you see how the shoes
I think you posted that before.
Yes,
somewhere on Instagram.
My story. I found that really interesting. But I think that if you ask me, in the next 5-10 years, you're going to see things like that. Because
in the next 2 years. You posted it on Instagram already last year.
Yes.
We'll start now.
So businesses in Africa can begin to look at how they can use AI to support their business. So as an organization, whether you're a product manufacturer, how will artificial intelligence help me, or augmented reality help me to reach the consumer? Because now the consumer is no longer.
I don't want to get into traffic. Like traffic in Accra, for example. I don't want to get into traffic to your shop. So just
find a way to make me just shorten that hole or bridge the gap between you and the consumer. So another thing we need to look at as well is conversational marketing, and I think we've seen this play a lot. Is that the second one? That's my second point. We've seen that play a lot in Nigeria. I think some of the banks have done it well, where you have this Leo app, and it looks like you can interact with it. But then let's just bring it home a bit. SMEs do it. You want to shop on Instagram, you see something you like, you DM the seller, and then your conversation starts, and eventually she guides you to help you make a choice, and you're closing that conversation with her, sending your account details. So brands, the big brands, need to find a way to actually become their marketing conversation around that, make it a bit more conversational. It's going to be a big trend. I think I'm going to see that happen within the next couple of years as well. MasterCard has something that they call MasterCard Kia, where you can just start up a chat with it. Like I saw something actually where you send it a text message. How much did I spend on travel last year? And then it tells you, hi Tomi, you spent $164 on this. Okay, how much of that specifically was for food? And then it's able to all of that conversation, all of that instead of you going on to study your bank statement and all of that, it can give it to you, and then it looks like, oh, I'm probably in my house, I don't need to stress myself going through some tiny sheets of numbers, but then this app is breaking it down for me. And so I think that's going to be big as well in the next.
Okay, so you know what? You said so many things. We need time to take this thing in, man. Wow. Let's have a short break and then we'll be back for man. I have a couple of questions also to train. Okay. I mean, this world is changing. All right, let's have a break, guys. Be back in a bit.
Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa. Exploring the African narrative, leading the conversation, and enlightening our listener towards a profitable Africa.
There are 1.8 billion globally. That will make 75% workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers of every conversation. Get more insights on African millennials on Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
S Cool on the beat.
Right, Temi, thank you so much for these points, right? I mean, so there's something I need you to do right now. These points they are sinking in. In fact, as you were talking, it's taking me deeper into more questions I can ask, but then we don't have so much of time. I have an organization. I'm willing to grow. Right. So tell me what to do with the next 2 points right now, and then wrap it up, because I really need help.
Okay.
I mean, these people are changing.
Okay, so let's go back to the point I said before. You need to understand the consumer. You cannot operate in isolation.
Right.
You need to find a way to anticipate what they would need. If you're in the sales business or in the manufacturing business, you need to find a way to, maybe enhance the product that you have. If you already have something that meets a solution that is probably at this point in time it is limiting, how else can I make their life easier? If someone's going to shop on my site, how else can I make the user experience really easy such that they're comfortable on my site and all of that? And I think that one of the things that also works is video marketing. Research also shows that quite a number of people are more comfortable buying a product after they've seen a video. And you can also make this video really realistic. A few brands have done this by using like the ordinary day consumers or users of their brands, tag us on the post, and they will curate this and turn this into an ad. So you need to be as original as possible, in terms of your engaging the consumer. We've seen how sometimes, after carefully curating a content and taking nice photo shoot and all of that, and you think that's going to go viral, make a hit, and then at the end of the day, it's just there. And then someone just wakes up from nowhere and just does something really original in its plain sense without it being edited, and then everyone just falls in love with it. You really can't predict consumer behavior, but you have to make the consumer, it's almost like consumerism, like whatever it is I'm doing, be it service, be it product manufacturing, the consumer has to be at the center of what I do. And you can never neglect research before you take an action, before you make a strategic move in business, so that you can actually find a way to trace your return on investment or conversion rates, because that's one of the challenges that businesses have when they're engaging in things like that. How do I trace that this spend?
And we don't do so much of research in this part of the world.
Yes.
We just assume.
So if you do research, if you understand the consumer better, then you're able to target appropriately.
Right. I mean, wow. Temi, you've thrown this house upside down with these things, right? And I'm sure that a lot of businesses, listening right now would have. I think it's really even going to help them when they get back to work on Monday to start drawing what they are planning.
I think I would not. I don't want to fail to mention this, because a brand that I love, a small business, a health food brand, actually did something over the weekend where they sent me personalization, right? So I was sent a newsletter, and then they erroneously, I think research again, misspelled my name, gave me a title, a prefix that I didn't have, and all of that. And in it, I didn't go to the mail. I'm not sure what they had in it for me, but I didn't bother reading it because I just felt this is not me. Yeah. So if you're going to use AI again to maybe check the footprints that I have on the internet and all of that, and see what this person is like, and appropriately get their names. You don't have to use the full names. You don't have to use 3 names. You can actually just use one of it, and make it a bit more personal if you're going to be using newsletter to engage.
So in getting your public relations work more effective with this new development, right? No, that's not what I should say. How will you get your public relations work more effective with this development?
So
because public relations is in the newspaper. No. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not. So for PR, I think there are no limits. That's what it means. There are no limits. Right. You just have to find where the consumers are and take your news to them. If it's WhatsApp, if it's Twitter, you have to find a way to engage the consumer where they want to be met.
Print or online?
For now, or in the next decade.
For now.
print still has, it's like a foundation.
Okay.
You know, so it still has that strength. But
Right.
if you want your news to go very far, then you
Right.
want to go online. You have to be, it's like
Right.
no brainer.
Right. So the CEO magazine now is looking like I was in the future 3 years ago because it's online.
It's online. Okay.
Right.
Fantastic. You
It's
don't
online.
have a print version at all. Okay. So that's
All right, guys. I mean, Temi Shaw schooled us, right? Guys, go check Temi on Instagram. Are you on Twitter? More
yeah,
Instagram.
More Instagram.
So that's Temi. That's Temi Ibekwe.
Yes.
Bekwe. Temi Ibekwe. Right, and you see every single thing about her there. Right. Also, Temi, we're working on the African Millennial Report right now.
Okay.
Right. It just talks about behavioral patterns of African millennials on the internet, and we have a couple of organizations who are partnering. We just want to have as much people take the survey as possible, right? The goal at the end of the day is to have a data that shows the behavioral patterns of us on the internet,
Okay.
right? Because we are the ones that will buy what you want to use and things like that. So, guys, if you can spread this as much as possible, guys, also go on getupink.com to take this survey. Let's grow Africa. I can't wait for what's going to happen this decade.
Same
Right.
here.
It just looks like some sort of a plain sheet, because I think if it was 20 years ago, if it was year 2000, I could predict what could happen by 2008, right? But I can't even predict what's going to happen in November 2020
we don't
because
know.
things just jump. The folks who are 20, 19, 18 years old right now, they think so differently. And the way they even use their phones, I saw someone using WhatsApp beside me and she was using stickers. I didn't even know how to use stickers. And she was using stickers. I was like, how do you do this? This is not emojis. Like, I was feeling old, right? So these people are really going to change the conversation of things. And you're talking about AI right now. I use this phone. It's a Google Pixel, and the phone looks like it knows me. It just goes on its own. I'm typing, and then the phone is predicting the next emoji I should use. If
For me,
it's a
that thing is
smiley,
scary.
what's your business? I'll now not use it. Why do you want to know me, man? So I mean, with what you've said, right? With the AI things coming to play, and then organizations now trying to, the end goal is to make money, right? Just to get to the consumers, right? They are the ones that will bring you the money. Is they should leverage on that technology,
Yes.
right? As you've said. And yes, print is still a background, but then focus more on the online, because the people who will control spending power in the next 5 years are between the ages of 23 and 29
I
right
agree.
now, because
and
they will
they're
grow.
so mobile. Yeah.
And they're so mobile. So if you think the other guys, they had a disposable income, but then would they want to buy the new refrigerator you want to buy? They have a refrigerator. Yeah. So the people are going to be getting married and stuck in their house and things like that. So you know, FMCGs, you know, things like that. We are the ones that will spend money. So man, Temi, thank you. Please, can you just talk about your website, your company, and then where you can be reached also?
Okay.
How you
so
can be reached, yeah. And then we'll just wrap up on that. And
all
then,
right.
yay, first
All right.
episode.
So our website is philion.com.
How you spell that?
PHYLLION
PHYLLION.com.
.com.
Okay.
Yes, and we're on Instagram.
Right.
Instagram, we have Philion IMC on all platforms. So Instagram,
Philion IMC.
Facebook, and
Okay.
Twitter, Philion IMC.
Okay, cool. In fact, if once you get on
Yeah.
Temi's page, I'm sure you see everything about it. So talk to your guys at work. Talk to that lady who's trying to get something done this year. That guy who's trying to grow his business this year. Just talk to Temi, and then we'll see how that goes. All right, guys. This is the very first edition of the African Millennial Radio Show in 2020. And then we're done. All right, have a very, very wonderful weekend ahead. Don't drink and drive.
Have a fantastic year.
Yeah, bye.
Oh, this feels like the final football match between two soccer warriors. Oh my God, can somebody please tell me what the African formation is? Oh, it's 4-4-2. Amazing. Cool stuff. That's just super amazing, isn't it? Africa Business Radio is doing 4-4-2 on the news with 40% Nigerian stories, 40% African stories, and 20% global stories. Now that's what I call a